Darkness, everybody! Everyone! Darkness is spreading!
First thing we're going to do is remove the seat, side covers, and saddlebags. Next, I'm going to remove this bolt, which is located at the top of the frame just under the seat. It's a T45 Torx, and you won't be reusing the plastic spacer on reinstall. This is the saddlebag support rail. On this install, I'm going to cut the existing support rail to fit the new guards. But if you don't want to cut your stock rail, Harley also sells a kit for their stock saddlebag guards, which come with a rail that's already pre-cut. Before cutting the saddlebag support rail, I'm going to mock up, and just to make sure that I have enough tube exposed here that will enter into this part, giving it stability. Or so just about where it ends being straight. So as you can see, I have the bike carefully covered. I don't want, once I start grinding, all of this dust and paint stuff to get on the rest of the bike. So just make sure you cover your bike. I'm gonna use a Dremel grinder just to make my cut. And just go slowly and take your time. Anybody can do this. So now that the lower support rail is cut, you'll want to go ahead and remove this bolt here, and it's a T45 with a 9/16 nut on the back. You can go ahead and remove that, and you won't need this piece here up front. You can throw that away, but you will want to hold on to the original bolt and nut for the reassembly. Okay, so next step, I mocked up the saddlebag guard. And as you can see, it's fit right over the cut part of the tubing. And I basically just hand tighten these bolts. Not too tight because you want to do that at the end, but just to make sure that everything is aligned for now. Okay, so let's move on to the install of the rails. What we'll have to do to get the rails on is take off these two bolts that have two nuts on the back. The one on the right is a T45 with a 9/16 bolt on the back, and the one on the left is a T40 with a 1/2 inch nut on the back. Okay, now that I removed those two bolts and nuts, we're gonna go ahead and put the rail obviously into this section here, and this part of the rail, pardon my camera work, is going to connect there. So take a look at how the outer rails connect to the back of the bike's frame. Here's a look at the saddlebag guard and the outer rails connected. I have all the bolts hand snugged at this point just to make sure that everything lined up properly. So now I'll go ahead and torque all the bolts down using blue Loctite. Also notice that on the inside of the saddlebag guard, there's a small set screw that holds the outer rail in place. Here's a diagram out of the Harley service manual, and these are the torque specs in case you want to tighten down all the bolts to spec. And so pretty much what's left is just to reinstall the side cover, saddlebag, and seat. And here's a look of the guards and rails fully installed.
From station to station, back to Düsseldorf City. Meet Iggy Pop and David Bowie.
So that's pretty much my video, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in once again. Until next time.